Sharma will publish his top trends for 2025 in the Financial Times this week, and he's here to give us a preview. He's the chairman of Rockefeller International and the author of What Went Wrong with Capitalism. Welcome, Ruchir. You are brave to do these as well as intelligent as always, because you can always be proven wrong. You begin this year's list with a few. I think the first three are really all about your prediction of the end of the American mega boom, this extraordinary situation where the U.S. stock market has really outperformed every other market in the world for so long. Why do you think what has gone up has to come down?
Well, Fareed, I've been a big fan of America, and it's had an incredible outperformance streak, both in economic terms and even more so in market terms. And we have this really unusual situation today where in economic terms, if you look at America's share in the global economy, is just below 30%. But if you look at the global stock markets and the main indices there, America's share in that now is approaching 70%. And I don't disagree with that America is the home of capitalism in many ways and of financialization and capital markets. But if you look at the last century, in more than half of those decades, the American stock market, in fact, underperformed the rest of the world. So it's not a straight line that America just keeps outperforming. And we go through these phases, the 2000s, the 1970s, or even before that, when the rest of the world has done much better than America. But today, we are in a space where there's a massive rush of capital into only one country, and there are fault lines that have been built here. And principally in that, I think, is the debt situation. That today, America's debt situation is in a league of its own. No country in the world today, at least major nation, is running a budget deficit of more than 6% of GDP. And that too, when you have pretty much full employment and at such an advanced stage of the economic cycle. No other country in the world would be able to get away with that. And we're seeing the consequences of that from Brazil to UK to France. But America thinks that it can get away with it because it's got the world's reserve currency, it's the world's premier economy. I think that situation is going to be proven to be unsustainable in 2025.
So if America and the American market is likely to go down, what nations are, who are the new comeback kids?
You know, the most interesting story in 2024 and controversial one possibly has been Argentina, which has really sort of gutted its economy. It's got a very controversial leader at the top, and yet the best performing market in the world in dollar terms over the past year was Argentina. And I think that you got a smattering of these countries in the developing world, which are doing well. India gets some attention, but apart from India, there have also been some really surprising countries that are doing okay. There are some of these frontier markets from Sri Lanka to Kenya, but more than that, even in the mainstream emerging markets, if you look at even China, a country, again, I've been very bearish on and we've spoken about, I feel the bearishness on China now is really overdone. People think that China is uninvestable, and yet there are some gems to be found in that market because things have gotten so ridiculously cheap.
You talk about two phenomena that you think are overly hyped. One is almost a sacrilege to say these days, which is AI. You say that AI actually might have more complicated effects for technology companies. I mean, everyone's thought AI is booming, so of course the big tech companies will profit. But you say not so fast.
Yeah. If you look at the past revolutions, whether it's the internet revolution or even the shale oil revolution, the established firms were never the big winners of those. There were new kids on the block that came out and there were winners. So my point here is not so much about questioning AI as such. I think that, yes, over time, AI will benefit a lot of people. But it's like, who's going to really make money out of this? Because AI has set off this huge gold rush, particularly among American firms, where they're just spending like crazy. One question we have always had is that these mega cap tech firms, what's going to possibly bring something to close their massive outperformance? Because they keep outperforming, they keep printing these great profits. And ironically, AI could be the undoing of the big cap tech firms because they spend so much on it. And investors soon begin to question, okay, where are the returns? And if history is any guide, they are not the people who are going to benefit the most from this.
Ruchir Sharma. Pleasure as always.
Thanks, Fareed.
And that's it. Thanks to all of you for being part of my program this week. I will see you next week. Happy 2025.